Hi, my name is Chris Main. I'm the Extension Cotton Specialist with the University of Tennessee, and we're here at the Mile and No-Till Field Day. And the stop that we have this year focuses on using irrigation in our cotton production systems. Here in West Tennessee, what we've been finding over the last few years is that there's been a tremendous investment in new irrigation systems. It's not something that we've traditionally had in West Tennessee. We've only been about 5% or less of our acres irrigated in all crops for the last several years. Each year now we're putting in somewhere between 100 and 150 new pivot systems a year, and what we're finding is that we're needing to have more information about how to use this water resource. What we are talking about here today is actually three different things. I'm discussing varieties and how they respond and how the plant responds not only in yield but in fiber quality to water irrigation. Out of that research we find some very interesting things going on. We've had 1 year of research. We're actually conducting these trials in 3 states, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. So we're covering the Mid-South with this research. And what we find is that in situations where you don't have much rainfall, irrigation has a dramatic impact on yield. It improves yield. In situations where you have adequate rainfall or sometimes excessive rainfall, not every year is that irrigation going to be able to pay for itself, but it's going to provide you some other intangibles such as improved fiber quality and length and strength and uniformity of fibers that will end up giving you a little bit of extra money at the end of the year based on your loan values. So there's a lot of interesting things coming out of that work. We're specifically looking at many different commercial cotton varieties because we want to be sure that we're putting the correct variety on the acres that we have irrigated. We don't want to place varieties that don't respond well to water under our pivot systems. Another piece of work that we're doing here is our new crop physiologist, Dr. Dave Verbrey. Dave's role with the university is to make sure that we're utilizing this water resource in the best way possible for our crop and how that crop responds to it. He works across all of our crops here in West Tennessee, but right now we're focusing on cotton because we've already have a good program going in irrigation with cotton. Dave's role is really to try to build some coefficients for water use for our different crops here in West Tennessee, because a lot of the research that we have based on irrigation use comes from arid environments where they don't have to deal with rainfall, humidity, and clouds passing by every few days. They have nice blue skies, hot temperatures. They can almost schedule their irrigation before the year begins, and we have to work around what Mother Nature gives us naturally. So Dave's role is to figure out what's going on there. Another member of our team is Dr. Brian Live from engineering. His role is looking at sensors and being able to tell how much water is left in the soil profile, how the plant is responding, the temperature of the plant, the amount of canopy closure that we have, and how we can better time up our irrigation to make sure that we're making that plant run at its optimal level that Dr. Verbrey is working on. So as a team, we work together to make sure that we're tying all three of those components together, because the overarching impact from this and the real take-home message that we have is we cannot necessarily just go out and put a variety under an irrigation system, turn the water on, and make sure that we're going to maximize the economic impact. We might be able to maximize our yield potential in that situation, but if we spend too much money in water, if we pick the wrong variety, if we're not monitoring what's going on with the plant, we may be wasting some of that money that we're making at the end of the year. So the whole goal is to make sure that we're maximizing that irrigation dollar and bringing maximum economic returns back to the producer.